I really enjoyed the dinner session last night with the two simulations. There were two groups, each one representing one school, the other representing another school, each faced with a beloved faculty member who was found to have posted political views about expulsion of Arabs from the state of Israel. And the question was whether to keep him on as a teacher, knowing that the school repudiates those values. And in one simulation, the principal had decided to keep the teacher, and there was another teacher and a lay board member, and a parent who came to complain. And on the other side, the principal had decided to fire the teacher, and there was similarly 3 people aligned. And what you really got out of that was a sense of how challenging the job of a day school head can be, balancing all of these different views, some ideas about how to better manage that, in this case, consulting all of these stakeholders before making a decision, but more than that, how you draw very difficult lines. Whether you decided to keep this person or fire the person, and most people seem to think fire, either way, how do you distinguish that from someone else who has a political view which is not quite as extreme? But how do you draw lines? How do you have policies? How do you balance the legal and the ideological and the values-based? And it really it gave me a sense of empathy and appreciation for the challenges of a job of a day school head, and also the way in which day school heads can use their position as teaching opportunities about the values of schools. So it was really very interesting. In addition to being an executive at the AVI CHAI Foundation, I'm a board member of a day school. And one clear takeaway for me is, let's look at those policies on teacher social media presence outside of school, on different political positions, and let's make sure that we have a clear view from the outset, so we know how we might address. I think Rabbi Shmuel Feld called it tabletop something, I can't remember, from the military, but sort of an exercise where we take the scenario that's not yet real and figure out what our policies should be, so that on these kind of, particularly in the polarized society we live in today, how we might handle something like this, just to make sure that our policies are aligned with our values and clear to the faculty. So schools make decisions for all kinds of reasons, sometimes having to do with community sympathy and PR, and the real challenge is, do all the decisions you make align with the values, or at least are you thinking about whether the decisions you make are in accord with the values? And if you decide to make a decision that in some way departs from the values, you know that you do it and why. So, at the beginning of the conference yesterday, we looked at school policies related to dress and inappropriate conduct, and we asked the question, what values do these reflect, and can they be justified in light of those values? And I think it's a healthy way for school people to think about their work. Do in fact the policies, do they have reasons for them that align with the values of the schools, and do they need to be tweaked to be in accord with the values?